Have you ever felt the heavy weight of resentment pulling you down, holding you back? I know what that's like. There's a lingering tension, a bitterness that gnaws from within. Sometimes it's towards someone who hurt you deeply, or maybe it's a grudge that feels impossible to shake. This anger, this resentment, it builds walls around our hearts, trapping us in a cycle of pain. But what if there was a way to feel free, truly free from the past? This question stayed with me for a long time until I realized that forgiveness might be the key I was searching for. It wasn't easy, but each step toward forgiveness brought a lightness I hadn't felt in years. Don't leave before the end. This video holds something powerful that can transform your reality. Let the full impact surprise you. Living with resentment is like carrying a weight that only grows heavier with time. Every time I remembered past hurts, I felt the same pain all over again, as if I was reliving those moments. It affected everything: how I viewed myself, how I trusted others, and even how I enjoyed life. There was a constant tension, an invisible chain that held me back from experiencing peace. No matter how much I tried to ignore it, that resentment had taken root, influencing every part of my life. I noticed that this bitterness didn't just affect my relationship with the person who hurt me. It spilled over into my other relationships too. I found myself becoming more guarded, less open, and sometimes even suspicious of the people who cared about me. The walls I built to protect myself from further pain ended up isolating me instead. I longed for connection, but this resentment acted as a barrier, keeping others at a distance, and deep down, it left me feeling lonely. The constant weight of anger also began to impact my health. I felt drained, tired, as though the very energy I needed to live fully was slipping away. I'd heard people talk about the power of forgiveness, but the idea seemed impossible. Why should I forgive those who caused me pain? Yet, as the years passed, I realized that holding on to resentment was costing me more than it was protecting me. The peace I craved felt further away than ever, and I began to question if my anger was worth the toll it was taking on my life. Then there was the mental burden. I found myself constantly replaying old conversations, thinking of things I should have said or done. It was exhausting, this endless loop of revisiting past pain. Every memory, every imagined scenario kept me stuck, unable to move forward. It was as though my mind was trapped, caught in a web of past hurts that I couldn't untangle. I began to wonder, was this pain worth my freedom? Was there a way to let go without letting those who hurt me off the hook? Living in resentment turned my world grey, robbing me of joy, peace, and purpose. I knew I couldn't go on like this, that something had to change. But forgiveness felt like an impossible leap. Still, deep down, I sensed that forgiveness wasn't about excusing others, it was about freeing myself. I decided to explore this path, hesitant but hopeful that perhaps, just perhaps, I could find a way to let go. In my search for a way to let go, I came across the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. His insights on forgiveness weren't just about releasing others, they were about finding true freedom within. Yogananda spoke of forgiveness as a path to inner liberation, a way to release ourselves from the invisible chains of resentment. His words resonated deeply, suggesting that forgiveness wasn't a weakness but a strength. It wasn't about forgetting or justifying hurt, It was about reclaiming my own peace and joy. Yogananda taught that holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. This perspective struck a chord. My bitterness was affecting me, not them. Each moment I spent angry or hurt was a moment stolen from my own happiness. This realization was both painful and enlightening. I began to see that forgiveness wasn't something I did for others. It was a gift I could give to myself, a path to my own healing. One of the most powerful things I learned from Yogananda was that forgiveness is an act of self-love. By choosing to forgive, I wasn't dismissing the hurt or pretending it didn't happen. Instead, I was choosing to stop letting that pain control me. Yogananda's teachings offered a way to transform this pain into freedom, to release myself from the grip of past wounds. This was a revelation. It gave me the courage to explore forgiveness, even if the road ahead felt difficult. Yogananda also encouraged self-reflection as part of the forgiveness process. He suggested that we look within, examine our own hearts, and ask ourselves what we're truly holding on to. This practice of self-inquiry helped me see that my resentment wasn't serving me. It was only keeping me trapped. Forgiveness wasn't about changing the past. It was about changing my future, allowing me to let go of what no longer served me. Following Yogananda's approach, I began to view forgiveness as a gradual journey, one that starts with small steps. It didn't require immediate, grand gestures. It was about allowing myself to feel lighter, one piece at a time. I realized that forgiveness could be gentle, that each act of letting go was like peeling back a layer of hurt. Slowly, I felt a sense of freedom I hadn't known before, glimpse of the peace I was searching for. Embracing forgiveness, as Yogananda taught, meant committing to a journey of self-discovery and inner work. I began with simple steps, taking moments to meditate and breathe deeply, allowing my heart to soften toward the pain I had been holding on to. Through meditation, I created space within myself, space to feel the pain but not be defined by it. This daily practice became a cornerstone, a reminder that forgiveness is a choice I can make in each moment, a commitment to my own freedom. Yogananda encouraged practicing compassion, not just for others, but for myself as well. He taught that forgiveness begins with understanding our own humanity, our own struggles and imperfections. I began to realize that holding on to anger was like expecting myself to be unaffected by life's hurts. But as I learned to be compassionate with myself, I started to see how natural it is to feel hurt, and how powerful it is to choose healing over pain. This shift brought a profound sense of acceptance. Self-inquiry became a valuable tool, allowing me to ask deep questions about why I clung to certain resentments. I discovered that some of my anger stemmed from a need for validation, a desire for the past to somehow change. But Yogananda's teachings reminded me that the past was beyond my control, that true power lay in how I chose to respond now. This awareness helped me see that forgiveness wasn't about waiting for apologies or resolutions. It was about giving myself permission to move forward. With each step in this journey, I learned to let go of expectations, realizing that forgiveness doesn't guarantee changed behavior in others. Yogananda's insights taught me to focus on my own growth rather than the actions of others. This focus allowed me to reclaim my energy, directing it toward my own peace instead of investing it in grudges. Forgiveness was teaching me to detach, to stop letting others' actions dictate my well-being. As I continued, I found a growing sense of freedom in these practices. Each layer of resentment I released felt like a weight lifting, like my heart was becoming lighter. It was a process, sometimes slow and challenging, but each step brought me closer to a life where peace and joy took the place of anger. I was learning that forgiveness was not a one-time act, but a journey, one that led me toward a life free from the burdens I once carried. As I continued this journey of forgiveness, I noticed profound changes in how I felt each day. The weight I had carried for so long began to lighten, as though my heart had space to breathe again. No longer chained to past hurts, I could fully experience the present. Everyday moments took on new meaning, and I felt a deeper appreciation for life's simple joys. Forgiveness, I realized, was giving me back my peace. This newfound peace also transformed my relationships. With resentment no longer clouding my interactions, I could approach others with openness and understanding. The walls I had built around my heart began to crumble, and I felt more connected, more at ease with the people around me. This wasn't just about those I had forgiven. It was about everyone in my life. Forgiveness brought a warmth, a kindness that I hadn't been able to feel before. Challenges that once triggered anger or hurt now felt manageable. Yogananda's teachings had shown me that forgiveness builds resilience, giving me the strength to respond with patience rather than pain. Each act of forgiveness was like adding a layer of inner peace, creating a foundation that supported me through life's ups and downs. I found myself reacting to difficulties not with bitterness, but with a sense of calm, a strength I hadn't known was possible. The practice of forgiveness also had an unexpected impact on my health. Without the constant tension of resentment, I felt more energized, more alive. The stress that once seemed constant began to fade, and I noticed how this inner freedom was nourishing my body as well as my mind. Forgiveness wasn't just a mental release. It was healing me on every level, bringing harmony and balance to my life. Through forgiveness, I discovered a deeper sense of purpose. My life felt fuller, richer, as if I had finally broken free from the shadows of my past. Each day became an opportunity to embrace this freedom, to live with a heart unburdened and open to all that life had to offer. Forgiveness had brought me home to myself, and in this home, I found the peace I had been searching for all along. Embracing forgiveness has fundamentally changed the way I live and perceive the world. Each day is now infused with a sense of peace and lightness that I had longed for. The act of letting go has freed me from the past, allowing me to move forward with a heart unburdened by resentment. This freedom feels like a rebirth, where every moment is lived with authenticity and inner harmony, reflecting the true essence of my being. This newfound freedom has enriched my relationships in ways I never thought possible. With forgiveness as a foundation, my connections with others have deepened, characterized by genuine empathy and unconditional love. I no longer carry the weight of past grievances, enabling me to fully engage and connect with those around me. These meaningful interactions foster a sense of community and belonging, reinforcing the importance of forgiveness in nurturing healthy, loving relationships. Facing challenges has become less daunting since embracing forgiveness. The resilience I've developed allows me to approach obstacles with a calm and composed mindset. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, I respond with patience and understanding, drawing strength from the peace within. This ability to remain centered in the face of adversity has empowered me to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and confidence, knowing that forgiveness provides a steady foundation. Are you ready to let go of the pain that holds you back and discover the liberation that forgiveness offers? Take the first step today by choosing to forgive, not for others, but for your own well-being. If this resonates with you, join me in exploring more about the transformative power of forgiveness. Subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and let's continue this journey together. Your path to a lighter, more peaceful life begins now. Let's walk it together.